art department or
history department.
History department. Okay, perfect. So Mithila painting has a very nice history actually.
Yeah. So it's the history department, and we thought we'll have this as part of, we are celebrating this Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav 75 years. So
Correct.
this way we can celebrate our craft traditions also. So
Very nice.
that's
Actually, it's very important for all our young generation to know about their art and craft and how it can be helpful in so many careers also.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
in today's talk, I'll be showing you some of the slides on design, like how it has been incorporated into different parts of design. So that's very important. It can be used like that. I think I will take 40, 45 minutes. After
Okay,
that, all of you can ask me questions and we can have a discussion.
that's good. So actually, we are all working online mode, so we are joining in from all over the country.
Yes, I can understand that. Yeah, we've had many such talks which are international also, like different countries. So it's interesting.
So you have, how have you learned this?
Ma'am, I've been doing it since my childhood because I belong to this place.
Okay,
And my grandmom, my mom has did it. It was part of a tradition.
okay,
So it's not that something I went out and learned.
yeah,
It
okay.
was part of me and like growing up. So it's almost, I think, 40, 45 years now since I.
Have you succeeded in passing it on to your children also?
Yes, yes, my children and so many other children who have learned from me, more than 10,000. So my family is very big.
Oh, that's excellent, excellent.
So many of my students are doing and they have been using it in different fields and working with it. It's good to see that actually.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
it. So I think now there is interest that is being generated uh, in artisans and this kind of a craft work among the younger generation also. There are a particular, but still we need to do much more for them.
Yes, correct, ma'am. Actually, it is it's important for the general people and the students and the colleges to understand the importance of these art forms because through this is something which is very unique, which is not there in any part of the world. So whatever we have is very unique and it needs to be passed on. Like you will feel bad that some German or some American comes and tells you about your art form, and that's what has been happening actually. So it's very important. It's high time that we understand the importance of our art form, art culture, and so many ways where we stand out. We have no comparison. I mean, we're incomparable in what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So it's very important to understand the importance of our culture, our roots, and all the rituals, and the importance of it. Like I can relate it to anything right now because I know that there is so much of in-depth knowledge. It's not just Mithila painting or it's not just any art form. It has deep-rooted meanings which are relevant in today's life. Which is very
That's what they need to understand also. So we need to have such workshops, more often so
yes,
that
ma'am.
we are able to.
In fact, since you are a history department, I think you should know the proper history of this art form, not only Madhubani, but all the art forms, be it Tanjore, because it's very interesting because it can lead you to do other things also and you can link it. That's
Yes.
otherwise, अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है तो आप करेंगे क्या मुझे I mean I don't understand.
नहीं बिल्कुल आप ठीक कह रही हैं और हम लोग प्लान भी कर रहे हैं वैसे कि हम डिफरेंट डिफरेंट आर्ट फॉर्म्स को लेकर वी हैव सच टॉक्स So
Yeah.
you could guide us who is the next resource person for us. You would be
Sure,
perfect for
sure.
that. Yeah.
Sure, there's so many artists you can like.
Yeah.
They're all very comfortable and they can talk about their work, and they can show you. Just being aware of its existence
Yeah.
is also very important.
No, we are
Yeah.
ready to provide them with the platform. So, should we start, Jasvi? Amrit, शुरू कर दे?
Sure.
ठीक
Please
है.
get started.
Okay.
It's time.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Tejaswi, and on behalf of the Department of History of Delhi College of Arts and Commerce and IQAC, I extend a very warm welcome to our professors, seniors, friends, and our very special guest Miss Manisha Jha,
Thank you.
to today's webinar From Traditional to Contemporary Journey of Mithila Art as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. For protocol remarks, I request the audience to keep their mics switched off during the lecture and ask questions only once the speaker is done with their lecture. Now, I request Basra ma'am to give the opening remark. Basra ma'am, can you hear us?
As it is. Tejaswi told me to switch off the mics, which I did. So later to remain. So these are the trappings of technologies. Anyway, to start again, good afternoon, everyone. Really, it's an important day for us. At our department, we really strive to have workshops so that as we study history across time and spaces, lived experiences are very important to us. And in the introduction, I can tell you that University of Delhi has been very active on this front. This front, we used to have Gyanyodaya called train with 1,000 students who traverse specific parts of India. And I think the fourth Gyanyodaya went to various parts, Banaras. They met artisans. So you are in a way our heritage and our, you can say, keeper of knowledge keepers and practitioners also. So it's a very important day for us. We hope to learn a lot, and at a time when we feel that history is not about abstraction, but rather it is also about experience, and the very fact that it's at the level of gender. So that makes it more important for us. And as historiography is also developing, so a warm welcome on behalf of our college principal, IQAC convener, and all of us here. So we are looking forward to hear from you and learn from
Thank
you
you, ma'am.
also.
Thank you,
So
sir.
warm welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, before the lecture begins, please allow me to introduce the speaker of today, Miss Manisha Jha. Ma'am is a self-taught artist of Madhubani paintings and is the founder of the Madhubani Art Center. She has been running a free school for women at the Bhoj Pandol village in Bihar, attended by over 500 rural women. Among her awards are the prestigious National Award given by former President Shri Pranab Mukherjee, the State Award from the Government of Delhi in 2008, Kala Bharati Award from the Bihar Sanskriti Mandal of Baroda in 1999, and the Jaiprakash Narayan Award in the field of Madhubani paintings 2002. Ms. Jha is an active scholar and has presented papers on Mithila paintings at Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, New Delhi, and also at the National Museum of New Delhi. She has been a visiting faculty in different architecture schools in Baroda, and ma'am's selected collections are also enhancing the beauty of many places, including the Essel Museum of Vienna, Weddington Auction House of Canada, and the British High Commission of New Delhi. Ms. Jha, we are humbled to have you with us. And without further ado, ma'am, we welcome you.
Sure. Thank you so much. I welcome you all. Christian, can you share this? Uh, I'll just take you to this journey of Mithila painting through a slide presentation, uh, which I guess, because I always feel that when you see things visually, you always remember it, and it'll be interesting for you to see it. So I hope it's visible to everybody.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay, great. So now just to introduce you to this art form, that Mithila painting is an art form which is an art. It's a ritual art. So, what do we mean by ritual art? By ritual art, we mean something which has been done in weddings, in festivals, in thread ceremonies. So, where we have been doing and practicing it through, we have been remembering it, and it has been practiced through generation and generation as a ritual art. So it's one of the most popular and important folk art of our country, and it is one of the few art forms which has been evolved by women, practiced by women, and preserved by women. So this is very important part of Mithila painting. So today's lecture, I just thought that about I will definitely talk about history of this art, but then along with the history, I wanted to you to understand the importance of folk art in our daily life, in our how this art form can be utilized in different streams or in different fields. So that's very important, and also the symbolism, because I must tell you that there's nothing in this art form which it does not have meaning. So that is very important to understand. So today's lecture, I've named it as Madhubani Art, tracing the cultural roots and advent of design, because I'm also an architect myself. So we have been using it in designs, in interior design, in fabric design, in product designing. I've worked with advertising agencies, and using Mithila painting, I've done a lot of designing. So it's very important part, and also book designing and so many other things. So taking you to now Mithila, this is India, and this is Bihar, and in Bihar, this is Mithilanchal or Madhubani area where this art comes from. This art, it's very interesting that I've heard many times, I've heard this question: what is the difference between Mithila paintings and Madhubani painting? So actually, there is no difference. Mithilanchal is the whole area, in Bihar, where this art form has been practiced, and the whole of Bihar was called Mithilanchal. And as you know, that our language is Maithili, and Raja Janakji was the king of Mithila, and that's why Ma Janki, his daughter, she was born in Sitamarhi, and that's why she is also called as Maithili. And our language is also Maithili. So it is, since it art form comes from Mithila, it is called Mithila painting. But commercially, this art form came from Madhubani was the only station at that time. So जो वहाँ से ट्रेन चलती थी, तो जब ये पहली बार ये आर्ट दिल्ली आई, so that's why this art was, since it was coming from Madhubani, it's popularly known as Madhubani paintings. So that is why this painting is also called as Mithila painting and Madhubani painting both. Now you can see that still Bihar is an agro-based state, where agriculture is the main occupation of the people. And this is my village only. This is our pond and our village. You can see these pictures are almost 4-year-old, and you can see that this area is still very green and beautiful. And due to lack of urbanization, I mean, there is no this is my village in Pochpandol in Madhubani district, and you can see this is my Nani Gaon in Purnia. So you can see that this whole area is very green, and still it's the occupation is agriculture. So, and it's very beautifully, we can say that it's in the lap of nature. It's in the foothills of Himalayas. So you can see that nature is in bounty in Mithilanchal in Bihar. Now, talking about the craft and textiles of Mithila painting, as I said, it was evolved by women, practiced by women, and preserved by women. So there are many, this art, along with painting, this whole area is also famous for textile applique work, block printing, sujini embroidery. You can see, ये हम लोग इसको कोठी बोलते हैं, इसमें धान रखते हैं, जो फसल आता है, the grains which come. So it is stored in these bamboo baskets. It's a huge, which is coated by mud from mountains. outside. इसको हम लोग कोठी बोलते हैं. So it is used for storing grains. Then these are Sikhi grassworks, which is very, very important part of our culture. And Sikhi is a dry grass weed which which grows in the fields, on the edges of the fields, and then it is collected and then dyed, and then these kind of figurines of gods and goddesses are woven. I mean, it's weaved by hand, and my grandmother was very, very efficient in that. And you can see this is pepper mache work. So then we have pottery and ceramics, stone carvings, moon baskets, terracotta, and so many. And textile of Bihar is very famous. So Bihar is a very multi-talented region of our country. So, talking about the architecture of the place, being an architect, for me, architecture is very, very important part, and I would like to share that the architecture plays a very important role in how a culture develops. Right. So, if you study the architecture of the place, the central courtyard system is still prevalent in the area. And the courtyard was the main activity zone of women. So there was a hierarchy in the open spaces. There were open space, courtyard, then semi-open space, and then open space. So open space was always domain of men, and courtyard was a women's area where all the activities related to granaries, related to rituals, weddings, everything happened in the courtyard. And it's very interesting if you notice that this is in the courtyard that these paintings took form, the songs took form, and the embroidery took form, because it was women's area and all the women used to collect together, and they used to create such a beautiful art forms which sustain so many centuries. So this is our Gram Devta Sthan, you can see, and the local and it is very interesting to architecture of the whole village. So the whole village, the most important part was the Gram Devta Sthan. From the then we had different tolls. We call it toll. The cluster was like Kais Toli or Brahmin toll, where each community used to be there and live there. So Kais Toli, Brahmin Toli, Harjan Toli. So that's how the whole village was divided into clusters, and these clusters had houses which had central courtyard system, and then all the rooms were around that. And then in these rooms, there was one of the Bhagwati Ghars, the Gosai Ghar, and all the activities were interaction between the courtyard and the Dalan. Dalan was a place where we these days called drawing room. It was like an open drawing room where all the men used to entertain the local guests, and whoever was come used to come and sit in the Dalan. And that's how this. So I'm taking you just to imagine the space. Can you imagine that this is how the still cluster looks like, and this world famous art form was evolved. It evolved from these clusters on the wall. So you can have a glimpse of this courtyard. It's a multifunctional area where this is when Duragman, when the bride is coming to the groom's place. So all the ladies, they collect and they make this aibak for it's a sweet which is distributed when the bride comes. This is a courtyard. May you can see a function of Janau ceremony, and here you can see that cooking is also done in courtyard. You can see that people are preparing, different rituals are happening here, and you can see full grain when the season comes of gehu ka ya rice ka. So it becomes a multi-purpose area where all the grains are there. It is separated. It is filled in sacks, and it is sold or kept inside. So this is how a courtyard functions. I know that I don't know how many of you have actually been to a village. I'm sure most of you have villages, and you might have, but it's understanding how village functions and how आप इसमें देखेंगे कि हम इस पे अर्पण भी बनाते हैं. These are mud floor and thatched roof. So that's the local architecture plays a very important. So a culture and architecture and art, it's all linked together. So Mithila painting is also linked, like, because it was a women's area. Now it is said that Mithila painting was initially, it still is done in the Bhagwati Ghar. This is my Bhagwati Ghar of my house in Bhojpal. So you can see this is our family deity, and we Mithilanchal most the Kali Ma is the main deity. So you'll get to see lots of we worship Kali and all the forms of Devi. And so here you can see that how it is prepared, and every wedding or ritual or any festival, भगवती का जो ये ऊपर का चुन्नी है ये चेंज होता है, we call it so this is how ये मड से रोज इसको नीपा जाता है, and then she is worshipped every day. So it is believed that this art form was done initially in the Bhagwati Ghar or Gosai Ghar and the Kobar Ghar. So I'll come to Kobar Ghar. So coming to the origin of paintings from mud walls to museums. Right. So as I said, this art was done on the mud walls in the Gosai Ghar, as I've showed you already, and in the Bhagwati Ghar and the Kobar Ghar during wedding rituals and during festivals, and on the floor as aripan. आप में से कई लोग रंगोली बनाते हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे यहाँ साउथ में भी बनता है on the floor, and in Mithila we make with thick rice paste. It's a rice paste with 4 fingers. We make aripan on the floor. So that's how it is done on the. So Mithila painting is done on the floor, on the wall, and then it came on paper, and then it came on canvas, and it came on different other fabrics, and then so many other materials. So coming back to it, this is how. Coming to the origin of this art, it's very interesting. The mythical origin of this art form goes back to Ramayana. It is believed that जब सीता माँ का विवाह था, announced हुआ स्वयंवर. So at that time, Raja Janak he announced that in Mithila that all the houses, all the citizens, they decorate the whole city. So everybody painted on all the walls were decorated. It has mentioned in Balkand in Ramayana. तो उसमें जब राम भगवान he enters, he's entering Mithila, suddenly they're all mesmerized that everything is decorated with painting on the walls. And mythically it is said that Sita Ma ka jo kobar is a room where all the wedding rituals take place in Mithilanchal. Mithila, in fact, India had this tradition of 4-day wedding, right? And it's mentioned in Dharma Shastra. So Mithila, actually being secluded and surrounded with very big rivers on all the sides and Himalayas on the side, it sort of helped in retaining the culture, and it still followed. So, this 4-day wedding takes place in where the bride and groom stay, and they all the rituals take place for 4 days. It's called the Kobar Ghar. And on the eastern wall of Kobar Ghar, isko darwaza ko band kar do. On the eastern wall of the Kobar Ghar, you will see that this Kobar painting is painted, which if you see this, so that was the mythical. I'll complete the mythical origin of it's mentioned in Ramayana. Then the actual how Mithila painting was discovered physically. So it was in 1934 that a major earthquake shattered Mithilanchal and the whole of Himalayan belt. And that time we was still under British rule, and there was whole area was totally broken. And then one British colonial, he visited the area. He visited the area and the level of damage which happened in the area. So at that time, behind the broken walls, he discovered that this painting. There were beautiful paintings behind these broken walls. So these pictures which I'm showing you were taken in 1934 by W.G. Archer himself. So Mithilanchal was very lucky because W.G. Archer was an artist, a writer himself. And also he was an art connoisseur, and he was even his wife Mildred Archer was very much interested in songs, and they've really extensively documented many art forms of our country. So we were very, very fortunate to be discovered by W.G. Archer because he himself was an art lover. So when he visited these areas, he suddenly said, when did Pablo Picasso come here? Because he felt the impact of the art was like this, and he was friend of Pablo Picasso. So he suddenly realized कि ये Pablo Picasso कब आके चला गया, मुझे पता भी नहीं चला, sort of. So that was the physical actual origin of discovery of Mithila painting. And आप ये जो painting देख रहे हैं, this is a cover, and you can see the cover where the central figure is Bhagwati, the goddess herself, and all the round figures which you are seeing, these are lotus leaves. As I will keep repeating it, that Mithila painting is a highly symbolic art form, and everything which is drawn has meaning. There is nothing without meaning in any art form which you if you see. So ab jab aap Mithila painting after this lecture, if you see, you will realize that you if you ask an artist, they will definitely tell you some meaning about what they have drawn, right? So the round figures which you see are the Puranic path, the lotus leaf, which multiplies very fast. So we say that you multiply in your health, wealth, success, generation like a Puranic path. Parrot is symbol of love. Fish is symbol of evolution and a new beginning. Turtle symbolizes how to face life, tough from outside, soft from inside, when to withdraw, when to come out and face life. So these are Mithila painting is I have written in my book also that it is a direct link between man, nature, and culture. So it is, it's all related. So it's basically being aware of nature and being connected to nature. So that's the beauty of Mithila paintings. And these are the painting which you see. These are on mud walls, which was coated on with lime. And तब ये natural color से जो आसपास चीजें आसपास होती थी, जैसे कि फूल, पत्ती, हल्दी, and whatever gave color. It was, and then the brush was just a bamboo twig, and also जो पुरानी साड़ी का कपड़ा होता था उसको आगे उस पे बांध देते थे, उससे ये painting होती थी. So this is how this painting looked like early Mithila paintings. So now you can see that how did Mithila painting originate? It was like personal expression of women to decorate the house. So basically, why women did it? So it was decorating and also invoking gods and goddesses to come and bless the couple, come and bless the household, the family. So it was the floor painting was also done because of that only. We have more than around 101 types of aripan. अरिपन माने जो अभी मैंने आपको बताया फ्लोर पे जो हम राइस से हाथ से बनाते हैं, तो it was done to invoke gods and goddesses. And also Mithila painting was also done, the Kobar painting or any art form painting which was done was for invocation of gods and goddesses to come and sit there and be witness of the wedding, be witness of the thread ceremony, and bless the couple, bless the family. So that was the main reason. And also like abhi aage I'll be showing you. So like you can see, these are some glimpses from I've been working with IGNCA since last 16-17 years. As I'm not working there, but I have been part of a lot of research, and which we have done on different parts of forms of Mithila painting. And also I work with more than 200 women artists, and we created almost 100 paintings which are part of National Archives at IGNCA. So this is one of the workshop images which I'm showing you. So as I said, if we come in 1934, there was an earthquake and Archer discovered. And after we became, it's very important, again, because we were busy in fighting for our independence. So nobody actually, Archer also wrote, and he wrote many papers, but nobody did any, took interest, because we were struggling for independence. And again, the discovery of Mithila painting happened in 1965, when a major drought happened in Mithilanchal. So during that drought, it was again at that time Srimati Indira Gandhi was the prime minister, and Pupul Jaikar, Archer, he later on after independence he became he was the main curator of the British museum in London. So there he wrote to the culture minister Srimati Pupul Jaikar about Mithila painting, and he asked her that to visit that place and document the beautiful art form which was there. So Pupul Jaikar suddenly remembered in 1965 there was a major drought in Bihar, and the government didn't know how to support the people. So at that time, Mithila painting, there was an Pupul Jaikar, she sent an artist called Bhaskar Kulkarni to visit the local, all the villages and find out about this art form. So that was the rediscovery of this art form after in 1965. So it was the government of India started promoting the artist as a non-agriculture relief fund. So first time Bhaskar Kulkarni visited the area, and then the government of India supplied paper, and this art transition of this art from wall painting, floor painting to came on paper. So the early national patrons were our Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi, Lalit Narayan Mishra ji, Pupul Jaikar, Gira Sarabhai, Upendra Maharthi, H.C. Mishra, Ratna Fabri, and our international patrons are were W.G. Archer, Vico of France, Edward Bopart, he was part of Vico's team, and Raymond Omenzi from America, Erika Mose from Germany, and Tokyo Hasegawa from Japan. So the early, how did you can see how did the early wall painting look like? So you can see that up dekhiye it was very contemporary at that time also. Basic material was cow dung coating with mud plaster and then lime, and the main colors were obtained, as I said, from flora and fauna, and the colors which were whatever gave color on your hand, that was used as color on the walls. So अब इस interest this painting is very interesting. आप देखिए नीचे विष्णु के 10 अवतार बने हुए हैं and ऊपर train बना हुआ है. So Mithla painting, the beauty of Mithla painting is that it allows you to express, allows the artist to express in the present contemporary context. That's the most beautiful part of Mithila painting as compared to any other art form. So this is all. These picture is also from Archer's collection of Mithila painting, which he took in 1934. So these are wall paintings which I have done. These are part of my studio here in Delhi, and this is my village in Bhojpandol. So you can see the floor paintings which we do with rice paste. ये आप देख सकते हैं बट मड से पहले हम फ्लोर को गोबर से लीपते हैं, and then with the rice mud paste it is done with 4 fingers, and that's how we also learn painting. You know, it's very interesting that my grandmother used to paint, my mother used to paint, so it was not as an artist but as a part of tradition. So whenever my grandmother used to make anything on the wall or on the floor, we used to put thope, a dot, red dot of sindoor on the ribbon or on the painting, and that's how we are three sisters. So all of us learned painting like that. So आप अभी तो आप ये सारे अर्पण कागज पे भी देखेंगे तो सारे जितने भी कमलदार जितने भी अर्पण है देवोठान एकादशी का, तुलसी पूजा का, ब्याह का, महुआ का, so many types. So it is you can see on paper. Sorry. So the three now Mithila paint. It's very interesting, you know, that the 3 types of Mithila painting, which I call 3 schools of Mithila painting, originated because of the caste system which was prevalent in Mithilanchal at that time, which was very strong. So everything has a positive effect and everything has a negative effect. So negative effect of caste system we all know, but the positive effect was that, you know, these art forms developed in their own way. Like the Brahmin community were more of you know, they were the scholars and जो पूजा पाठ कराते थे, and it तो उसमें Brahmins painting was, and since it was part of a wedding, so the Brahmin paintings are very very colorful, like pink, yellow, orange. You know, it was very colorful because वो सब देवी देवता से associated थे, and since Brahmin women were very, very fluent in the rituals, so the colored painting evolved, which was the colored Mithila painting, also called as Bharni painting. So this was आप इसमें आप देखेंगे कि what is the character of Mithila painting? How do you recognize Mithila painting, right? So आप इसमें देखेंगे the border is the most important part of Mithila painting. And in fact, all of Indian art, you will notice that I'm talking about all the folk art, be it Varli, be it Tanjore, be it like Patachitra, chahe Odisha Pata ho, chahe Bengal Patua ho, Indian art has border. And it is always two-dimensional. So it's same with Mithila painting. It's two-dimensional, and the border is very important. And the line work. Apart from all the other art forms, you can recognize very easily Mithila painting with its powerful, strong line work. So पहले अगर Brahmin painting हो गया तो we first make a form, then we color it, then we do the line work, and then the gaps are again further broken into smaller lines. So this is how the Brahmin painting looked like. This is a painting sun by me, and these are the 4 directions of sun. और आप बहुत familiar होंगे कि छठ पूजा हमारे यहाँ बहुत important है. So sun is a very important god in Mithila painting. Then you can see this is Kali. Now, second type of Mithila painting was originated by women of the Kayastha community, which was monochrome or only 2 colors which were used. So आप देखेंगे कि इसमें इसको हम कचनी पेंटिंग बोलते हैं. तो इसमें पूरी पेंटिंग जो है वो या तो लाल से बनती है या लाल काला या लाल हरा अगर शादी में बन रही है. So इसमें भी border and everything, all the motifs are same, but it's not colored. All the spaces are filled with lines and different renderings. So that is the Kayastha Kachni style of painting. This painting is by very famous and veteran artist, world-renowned Bimla Dacci. She's around 82-year-old now. And you can see this Kali is so beautiful with her hair all around and the mundumal. So Mithila painting also, it's, as I said, it connects nature, it connects culture, it also connects symbolism. So there is a lot of symbolism in everything. So these are oral narratives. The stories start coming. Everything has a story, and these stories have been coming down from one generation to other flawlessly. It was never written anywhere, but still everybody knows these stories. So that's the beauty of folk art, and especially Mithila painting. Now, the third type of Mithila painting was which was evolved by the Dalit women. So it was called the Gudna painting. Gudna माने जो हमारे यहाँ शरीर पे आज these days tattoo is very, very fashionable, but it has been coming down generations and centuries all over the country. So in Mithilanchal हम लोग के यहाँ tattoo जो बनाते थे, that was a community, nut community. So they used to make all these tattoos. And ये जो शरीर का tattoo था, there was a German scholar who initiated the Dalit women. It was this transition of Dalit painting came after almost 10 years after Brahmin and caste community painting became famous. So you can say it came in 1965. This art was discovered. So from 70s to 80s, this art gained a lot of international prominence all over the world. And it was in 70s, early 70s, that Gudna painting took shape. It was story is very interesting. That German scholar Erika Moser was. She was there as a research scholar in Mithilanchal in the village, and there she saw women, having on their body, they had all these designs. So she asked them if they could put this design on paper. So there was a very famous Ganga Devi Dalit artist. So she was doing something similar as Brahmin painting, but she reinvented herself, and she coated this paper is coated with cow dung. And then these are with natural ink जो हम बनाते हैं दिए से, उससे ये पूरा, these were in praise of Raja Sailesh. The stories of Raja Sailesh are very interesting. Actually, I can keep talking so much about this art form. So this is the 3 styles of Mithila painting which are most prominent. And then there were further, I will show you art form with the personal expressions of each artist, and that gave this art form a new dimension. So in that case, then there were priests, the Brahmin priest who practiced this art. Then they bought tantric painting, Then there were each artist developed their own style. So now this you can see how Brahmin style of painting came. And Mithila painting is very interesting that it is one of the, I call it a journey of women from courtyard to the world. You know, so all these women artists जिनका मैं अभी आपसे बात कर रही हूँ, like Sita Devi. I mean, we are very fortunate and one of the only that Mithila painting has 7 Padma Shris, all women. This is an only art form which has 7 Padma Shris. Now, on 8th, the 7th Padma Shri, Srimati Dulari Devi will get her award. So you can see that, you know, the first Padma Shri was Srimati Jagdamba Devi. Then there was Sita Devi, Bawa Devi. So all these, it's a women's art. And it gives me goose pimple when I imagine when I'm in my village, when I'm sitting under the tree. You can you see all these women. You know, how can you imagine that these women, they traveled world over, and their paintings find place in all the museums of the world. So that is so interesting about this art form. So abhi jo aap ye dekh rahe hain, this is by Srimati Sita Devi. This painting is Ardhanarishwar, half Shiva and half Parvati. So these were very important you know, motifs of Mithila painting, on which paintings were done initially, like Ardhanarishwar, Bhagwati, Purain, lotus, fishes. Fish is symbol of evolution and a new beginning. तो आप इसमें आप देखेंगे ये आदि पार्वती है and Shiva बोला हुआ है. So it talks about duality of nature. Like everything in this nature is dual. From Purush, Prakriti, day, night, black, white. I've also done paintings related them to Feng Shui, because that Oriental philosophy is also something similar. So, and you can see that this is a snake associated with Lord Shiva, and that's River Ganga. So, this is a beautiful painting of Ardhanarishwar. This painting is almost 50-year-old. This painting by Sita Devi ji. Then this is Lord Ganpati by a very famous artist Mithila Jha, and you can see the color combination. And also the Mithila painting, अब आप notice करोगे कि that the form is flat. Flat माने there is no third dimension, there is no shading of colors. So आप देखिए कि face is almost round, then the body is flat in front posture, and the legs are also straight end. So everything is front posture. So if you feel any depth, it is because of the type of color used and also because of the line work, right? Because no, we don't have any shading in this art. Just shading. This is a very famous painting by Bawa Devi ji, Padma Shri Bawa Devi ji, and this is her cow and Krishna. And you can see how this cow is elongated and looking behind, and the colors are so bright and fabulous. And that's Sri Krishna taking her out, right? And अब गाय का नीचे बछड़ा भी है. So it's very Mithila painting का जो एक character है, it's very beautiful, where the main form is full, and then you can see that the background is filled with flora and fauna or something related to symbols related to the main form. So that's very important part of Mithila painting, that no part of the painting is white or vacant. Although now you will see difference in this, but the early paintings are like this. This is the most early painting. This is the Five Snakes, Six Sisters, the Panchapisara by very old artist Shashikala Devi ji. And actually, ye Chari and Nakanya, but it is Panchapisara. And these color. This is how you can recognize the most early paintings, Mithila paintings, with pink and blue, and you know, body in face either in front posture or side profile, and the body in front. So this is a very beautiful painting by Shashikala Devi. And हमारे यहाँ बिसारा का, I've written my latest book talks about it is on Madhushravani festival, where we worship snake sisters. We worship snakes because snake is symbol of fertility and time. So all the in the whole Himalayan terrain in Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, snakes are worshipped in a very big way. So we have a full festival called Madhushravani associated with the snake worship. Now, coming to, she's the first, Srimati Jagdamba Devi is the first national awardee and the first Padma Shri from our area. At that time only, when this art was discovered, she was more than 65, 70-year-old. And you can see this is how, I want you to notice the different in styles of these artists. and none of the artists were same. So आप देखेंगे कि this is राधा कृष्ण and ये भगवान के मोर के रूप में नाव है. This is a very famous painting by Srimati Jagdamba Devi. Now please start noticing, each artist have their own style of doing the face, the eyes. Eyes are very big, nose are sharp, and again this face is side profile and the body in the front profile. So there is no proportion, no shading, no anthropometrics, but still this painting looks beautiful, and we don't use any scale or any instruments to do this painting. It's all freehand. This is a painting by Srimati Sita Devi. That's the legend herself here, and you can see her. She traveled all over the world, from India to Japan, so many times to America, USSR, and she brought a lot of fame to Mithila painting and the area. So she passed away at the age of in 2005, I think, at the age of 94, 95. So that's Sita Devi, and you can see she practiced Bharni style of painting, and uh, she was the first artist to come out actually. She went to India Expo, and it's very interesting. I'll just share that when this art form came on paper, Sita Devi and Jagdamba Devi, there were five women who actually painted on paper, because when Bhaskar Kulkarni ji went, he was a dadi wala artist. So हमारे यहाँ, women never come out. So he was not allowed to meet the artisans. So he had to spend almost a year just to convince people that he was a nice person and he was there to help them. So finally, since Jagdamba Devi, Sita Devi, they were little old. So they were allowed. They came out to meet him, and actually, Bhaskar Kulkarni visited a wedding where Sita Devi had painted a cobra on the wall, and he then asked her to paint it on paper. And उस time Nepal paper was supplied, so वो बड़ा लंबा सा 5 फुट का पेपर होता था, and most of the early paintings were done on that. So so at that time there were five women who painted: Mahasandhi Devi, Godavari Dutt, Jamna Devi. They were the older artists at that time. They were old, so they painted, interacted with Bhaskar Kulkarni, और वो सारा काम लेके he came to Ministry of Textiles in Delhi. And these paintings were exhibited by the government, and it became such a hit that it was an instant hit amongst the art in the art world. And these artists became stars. They were invited to Delhi. Then they were sent in India festivals, to Japan, to USA, and to France, Germany, and they traveled all over the world within a span of 2 years to 3 years. They traveled all over the world, and instantly, I talk about women empowerment through Mithila painting. So this is the biggest example. Mithila painting is the biggest example of women empowerment. There you see women coming out from courtyards, going to the museums worldwide. So that's the beauty of Mithila painting. And this is world famous Bawa Devi ji. And inka jo her style, you can see her style is very different from Sita Devi, and you can see again her body is in face profile, and ये हर चीज इन्होंने एक्सप्रेस किया नाग से, बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ नाग को बहुत शुभ माना जाता है और उनका पूजा होता है, तो इन्होंने हर चीज अपना, ये नाग कन्या बहुत फेमस है बवा देवी की. And I will show you, these two paintings, they are showing through a snake. She showed before September 11 and after September 11. So before September 11, you can see the snake is in a green background. And after September 11, you can see everything is burning. So this is so contemporary, but it is traditional at the same time. But the symbolism is so strong. So unless you understand the meaning of what it is, you cannot come up with these kind of artworks and paintings. So now coming to the Kachni style of painting, you can see this is Radha Krishna Jugal Jodi by Vandana ji, and you can see these paintings have only line work and all different blendings in lines. So it's a beautiful painting just through lines. This is again elephant, and you just notice the amount of line work which is done in this painting by Bimla Dutt ji. This is also a painting depicting the four directions form of elephant by Bimla Datji, and then there is this peacock, which is symbol of love, and notice the borders. So this is very significant, and how it's very intricate. This is Mahasandhi Devi ji was like Sita Devi was pioneer of Bharni. Sita Devi and Jagdamba Devi, they were pioneer of Bharni style of painting. Similarly, Mahasundari Devi was pioneer of the Kachni style of painting, and you can see this is almost around 60-year-old painting in collection of Madhubani Art Center. एंड यू कैन सी द झूले पे राधा कृष्ण एंड आप देख सकते हैं कि कैसे श्री कृष्ण और राधा झूले पे बैठे हैं और जो गोपिका है उनका हाइट इज एज हाई एज द ट्री एंड दे आर जस्ट झूले को वो लोग चला रहे हैं धीरे धीरे सो दिस इज सच अ ब्यूटिफुल पेंटिंग एंड इट्स डन ऑन द नेपाल पेपर विद माचिस का तीली से बना हुआ है ये पेंटिंग इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल पेंटिंग. Now, this is Padma Shri Srimati Godavari Dutt. She's a living legend right now, almost 94-year-old. And ये जो आप उनका painting देख रहे हैं on snake, she's world famous, known for this particular painting, which she did in early 70s, and then it's part of the Mithila Museum. All over the world, this painting is very famous. And this is world famous Ganga Devi and her artwork. Ganga Devi was pioneer of Kachni. Both Ganga Devi and Mahasundari, they were considered the masters of Kachni style of painting. And there is no comparison to Ganga Devi's work, where it is not even available in India right now. You can see some of her best works in Craft Museum. If you get a time, please visit Craft Museum. You will get to see all these masters and their paintings. This is Srimati Bimla Dutt. She's also around 82-year-old and very famous Kachni painter. You can see, I will show you some of the works by Ganga Devi. आप देख सकते हैं ये आप Craft Museum में देख पाएंगे. This is the cover which I was talking. The central figure is, there are many wrong interpretations of these symbolisms. So the central figure is the goddess herself, Bhagavati. The round figures around her are the Purainak path, the lotus leaf, which multiplies very fast. So we say that you will multiply in health, wealth, success, generation, like a Purainak path. This is on the top is Vidhata. These are two birds facing each other, and in Ramayana also it's mentioned that they predict the future of the couple. बिकॉज सीता माँ का भी कहानी है कि वो पहले ही उन्होंने बता दिया था कि सीता माँ बहुत दुखी रहेंगी इस शादी में एंड सो विधाता इज ऑलवेज मेड they predict the kind of wedding which the couple will have. And this is Surya Chandrama Navgraha at the top. So it's so beautiful, all these artists were not educated in terms of today's context, but they were much more educated than people today. So all the celestial part of universe were on the top. So Surya, Chandrama, Navgraha. एंड फिर ये जो आप यहाँ पे साइड में देख रहे हैं ये पान घर बनता है. पान के पत्ता एक स्थान बनता है वेयर यू इन्वोक virtually 108 gods and goddesses to come and bless the couple. And you can see the fishes on the two sides. Fish is symbol of evolution and a new beginning. And in our culture, when a bride goes to her groom's place, she's made to cut a small fish with her left hand, which signifies the beginning of her new life, right? And at the base, you can see these are the worldly rituals. So आप ये देख पाएंगे. This is डोली का हार. फिर कछुआ जो है it symbolizes how to face life, tough from outside, tough from inside, when to withdraw, when to face life. ये this is part painting of a bamboo. Bamboo हमारे यहाँ बहुत शुभ माना जाता है, and it signifies how to be flexible and stiff at the same time, like a bamboo in your life. And also bamboo बहुत जल्दी multiply करता है, so again it means that you multiply in health, wealth, success, generation, like a बांस का गाछ. And then this is Gauri Pujan, where the bride, we still have the bride, she worships Gauri, that she gets the best husband of the world, like Bhola Baba. And Parvati Ma is, symbolically in a small sindoor का हम लोग के यहाँ किया होता है, उस पे we put a beetle inside, and she worships. The beetle signifies the goddess herself. So this is what it means as on what is the meaning of Kobar. You can see this is a very famous painting by Ganga Devi, Bhola Baba, and these are part sketches of her memoir in on Ramayana. This is very interesting painting by how it like now you can see that this is the biggest example of women who travel from courtyard to different museums, and their artwork also evolved as per their exposure. I always say that the women, the moment they kept moving out, their whole exposure changed and the artwork changed. So Mithila painting once it started with the wall painting of Kobar, and then you can see same Ganga Devi when she went to USA. She first time in her life she saw women in short skirts, so women with short hair, and she saw men wearing caps, and she saw the roller coaster ride. जो उन्होंने अमेरिका में देखा, तो she painted this roller coaster ride. So can you imagine same Ganga Devi from Chatra village, she came to Delhi, and from Delhi to America, her art gave this expression. And then this is the same Ganga Devi, उन्होंने बहुत डिटेल में पूरा रामायण बनाया था. So this is a painting by her. So you can see the contrast, how Mithila painting, it allows all the artists to express the present context. So it becomes very contemporary. So that is very important to understand about Mithila painting. Now, this is Padma Shri Mahasandhi Devi, and this painting I've already explained it to you. So this talks about these are super women who change their own life, who change their life of their family, who change the life of the all the villages, full village. These women, they got the roads made. अभी भी आप जब मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है जब मैं अभी मधुबनी और अलग अलग गांव में जाती हूँ, तो आप देखेंगे कि बाहर जो लिखा रहता है एड्रेस, so it will be written Godavari, the Padma Shri Godavari Dutt, Padma Shri Mahasundari Devi. Not so all the houses have address of the women as a head, not as men. So this is a very amusing sight and very empowering sight of that area where all the women have become the bread winner, and men have followed. These are the three styles of tattoo painting, the Gudina painting. This is by Chanu Devi. She was also world famous. This is by Jamna Devi, and this is by Urmila Devi Paswan. So these are all stories. Like each art form, I can talk for days because there's so much of stories and legends. These are stories of Raja Selesh, which are narrated either in concentric circles or in horizontal lines. It is very interesting, when like Jamna Devi. She was amongst the first five women who painted on paper. So she was, an artist who was she was not a Brahmin or a Kais. She was a Dalit, but she painted. She used similar colors, and उन्होंने पूरा जो भी पेंटिंग बनाया पहले कलरफुल था. And that same Jagna Devi, I'll show you her painting. How slowly she was from a Chamar community. तो उनकी जो stories थी that how when these animals they die, how they are being carried, and the colors were very similar to the Brahmin style of painting. But how this art changed life of women, like this is Srimati Urmila Devi Pasman, and you can see she said that new generation does not mind having a cup of tea with me. So it changed their social status, it's changed their family, their approach to life, and everything changed. So आप देख सकते हैं कि हम लोग कैसे गोबर से इसको नीपते हैं फर्श को, और तब फिर इस पे अर्पण बनता है. This is all the Dalit painters, that's Jamna Devi, and you can see the variation in the works of Jamna Devi, that's Chanu Devi. And I must tell you that these women, they look so simple. Their artworks are being sold in auction houses, and it's going in lakhs of rupees. So that I don't know how much you understand, but in art world, it is these women are legends of this of our country. And from courtyard to art galleries and art festivals, as I said, this is an exhibition in India Habitat Center, and you can see the chief minister with all the women artists, and here is the courtyard. So it is the biggest example of women empowerment. I'm repeating it every time because it gives me like I feel very happy about it that the change of material from mud walls to paper brought a lot of freedom of expression to women. Intricacy of art developed more. It brought respect and recognition for women. It brought visibility of art internationally and nationally and to the outside world as paintings on paper were exhibited in different museums across the globe. So आप ये देख सकते हैं कि मिथिला पेंटिंग since 1975 have been all these women have brought so much of honor to the region by winning so many national awards and Shilp Gurus and international awards and presence in the international museums. As I say that single women art and liberation have written about them that's Chandrakala Devi. She has all these women have been running their third generation now by earning through Mithila painting and by bringing Mithila painting to international level. So that is it's very important to understand about this art form. That's Shanti Devi and her daughter, like Shanti Devi ji, and all these women have traveled at least 20 countries. जिनका भी आप photo देख रहे हैं. So they have traveled worldwide and they have, documented. I've done many workshops on Ramayana, Mahabharata, and it is fully documented by these women. तो आप ये सोच के आपको बड़ा आश्चर्य होगा कि इनमें से आधे लोगों को पढ़ना भी नहीं आता है, लेकिन इनको रामायण, महाभारत सब कंठस्थ है. They remember it by heart. That's the present generation needs to learn this. That कुछ ऐसे बाय हार्ट चीजें इनफैक्ट सीता देवी तो हर चीज को बीच में एक चौपाई बोलती थी उससे रिलेटेड सो दे वर सो स्पिरिचुअल बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो रिलेट दिस आर्ट फॉर्म इन प्रेजेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट विद आप देखेंगे कि आजकल लोगों को सो कॉल्ड डिप्रेशन हो रहा है so many different they are not able to concentrate, but art is something which really brings you down. It spiritually connects you to your inner soul, to the outer soul, and through nature. So it's a very powerful medium of expression, and if you practice art, if you appreciate art, it gets you to a different level altogether. It has been proven by, I've taken many workshops, even UNESCO, that when we use our 5 fingers to do something, it enhances our cognitive skills. So the moment it is such a de-stress कि आप कुछ भी कर रहे होंगे तो उसमें आप maximum artists से जब भी आपको chance मिले आप मिलेंगे, they are very calm and always smiling and always happy. So how does this happen? It happens because of art, because they remember everything, because they are totally connected to art and nature, and it just art brings them down and it takes them to the international levels where they are right now. So these are different artists and the glimpses. So now I've been taking workshops worldwide from, this is our school in village, and how different universities from all over the world, students are coming and they spend time here and they learn this art and they've been using it in their own profession. I'm just giving you an early glimpse of this art. आप देखिए कि I don't think so any other art was exhibited like this in different countries. This is an exhibition in France in 1973. Look at the paintings. And a beautiful exhibition which was there. This exhibition is called the 100 Magicians, and इसमें पूरे world के 100 artists were invited, out of which Bhava Devi ji was invited, and Jivya Somashi from Valli, he was invited, and this is the artwork of Bhava Devi exhibited in Germany and in 100 Magicians exhibition held in 1989. And these are the only Mithila museum which is there was in Japan. It's in Japan by Sri Hasegawa, who's himself an artist. And then he invited all these artists to on residency program to Japan. And these art forms which you see behind, huge art forms, are done on cement blocks. And all these artists, they have traveled more than 9 times to Japan and stayed there for 6 months and created these artwork. So you can see these all these women are looking so simple, but they're so international, right? And they have international recognition. And this is one of my exhibitions in Vienna in Austria, and these were the curators from 10 best museums of the world. And these are some of the list where you can find Mithila painting is the Mithila Museum in Japan, the Berkeley Art Museum, the Asian Art Museum, Philadelphia Museum, Oberlin, Syracuse, University of Florida, Denver Art Museum, Craft Museum, Calico Museum, Seattle Art Form, Asian Art Museum, Devi Art Foundation, Kanoria Center for Arts, Ahmedabad, and different museums of in France and Germany. And I'm telling, like Mithila painting can be seen all over. It's still अभी भी इसके Asian Art Museum में अभी इसका exhibition हुआ. So all the museum are still there. Are so many people researching on this art form and creating. This is my exhibition in Lyon in France in 2016. This is in Moscow, and you can see how this art form is so popular all over the world. This is an exhibition called Many Visions, Many Versions. It was an art form, indigenous communities. This is Miami, and this is my art form, which you can see. And it was this show traveled in 10 museums of America for 3 years. This Mithila painting, this is International Folk Art Market Santa Fe, and for the first time, an Indian art form was used as a logo of an international exhibition. This is my painting called Bride. She was there when I landed at the airport. All the buses had her picture and my picture, and all the roadside hoardings had her picture. So it was like bringing a lot of prestige to the art form. And you can see how internationally recognized this art form is. Coming to the patterns and designs, motives and symbolism. Till now, I've been talking about history and how about women and their journey. Now you can see that what is the how these symbols are so important. और ये कैसे survive कर गए इतने सालों साल same things have survived. It is because it is in their mind and it has been passed down orally from one generation to other. So these are borders, which I just thought of, I just thought to show all of you that how these borders are important in this art form. तो हम जो बीच में narrative होता है, जो कहानी होती है, उससे related border is painted. So these are different borders and motifs which are inspired by nature, and it's inspired by our life. Everything is, part of that. So then you can see these are different motifs: fishes, ants. Elephant is symbol of strength and stability. These 4 fishes, they symbolize the 4 directions, right? Then there are stories and patterns inspired by nature. So bamboo. I just explained you what is bamboo. Then Vid Vidata, then Latpatiya Tota. These are 2 parrots in love. So it is basically that for the newlywed couple who are in love, and blessing them to be in love or throughout their life. So this is the Purana path, the elephants, the 4 directions. And then use of folk art in design. Today, Mithila painting can be seen on various materials like fabrics, garments, furniture, handbags, and artists have been working with fashion designers, product designers, interior designers. So it is finding place, and people are using Mithila painting, and new products are coming up with folk design. So आप देख सकते हैं, these are shawls and kurtas, tie, and these are Peter England shirts which I designed. And the inspiration for this painting was this shirts was this design, and the meaning of this painting was limitless growth, limitless future, and that's how I created this pattern. And then it got transformed on shirts, which was a total sellout within 1 month. And this is how I created the Peter England shirts. This was the process of creating the whole art form. And this is how it is being done on the. So आप देख सकते हैं कि how this is my painting and how it has been transformed on the fabric. It has been hand woven. So आप देख सकते हैं कि symbol fish, one same fish, how it looks on fabric and how different patterns are created. This is Bagh print, and this is the Gudna painting which I talked about, and how intricate this is, and how same way it is so intricate, the Bagh print. So these are all inspired by nature, inspired by stories, inspired by legends which are there, and the meanings. Everything has a meaning. So that's how, when you know the meaning, then only you can use it on different materials. So these are garments inspired by these paintings. This is Sujini quilt, which is made, ये श्री कृष्ण की कथा है, and जो कि सिर्फ धागों से बनी हुई है कपड़े पे. And this is, I designed these ads for a company called General Electrics, and I designed these for their ad. This is G Electric, and ये सारा इसमें सुजनी वाला embroidery किया हुआ है. So these are the fans through which we create electricity, and then you can see electricity coming in the house. So it's very interesting. Like, these are international and national, exhibitions, hand painted dupattas. You must have all, must be having one. In fact, Mithila painting, and these are, it's used in furnishings and fabrics, in interiors, and it's not only national; it's international. This is my exhibition in Washington D.C. Last year. So you can see how internationally it is recognized. These are different accessories and products which are part of painting, and आप देख सकते हैं कि इसमें कैसे ties है, सिक्की की ties हैं, costumes हैं, headgears हैं. So all bags, earrings, which are coming up, and it's internationally, it's like a craze right now. So you can see the traditional gods and goddesses being used in different materials, and how it is coming on the ornaments. And this is Sri Ganesh Ji, and you can see this very beautiful jali created out of traditional Sikhi design, right? So it's so minutely. So it has all these are art forms and art. Up agar kabhi, if you have traveled to the Mumbai airport, आप देखेंगे how beautifully it is. The folk art has been used to design the whole airport. It's so beautiful, and everywhere folk art has been utilized, from the lamps to do notice when you go to Mumbai airport. And this is a very nice jali created out of Sikhi. These are lamps created out of Sikhi and other products. You can see different lamps, hand purses, and so how folk art has, slowly, it is an art form, very powerful art form. It has a lot of stories, and when these stories are translated into products, these kind of products are formed from all over. These are gift boxes which I had designed for Godfrey Phillips and Nestle, and then jute products. These are, I've been doing artwork on 3D, and this is Prakriti. It's a huge 5 feet head which I had painted on Prakriti, and these are different exhibition glimpses of exhibitions in Santa Fe in USA. This is how Bimla Dattji's work was used by Domino Records London, 10 अवतार, जो उन्होंने बहुत ही हेप जो एक बैंड है, उन्होंने इसको यूटिलाइज किया था. एंड सो मधुबनी इज अ वेरी इन फॉर्म, एंड these are all done in just last 2 years. This is a BBDO, General Electric Company. I had designed these ads for baby warmers, like a huge. It was a challenge to convert, a machine into painting, and then make it soft, look soft, which could be utilized in rural areas. This is G Electric. This is G Capital, done in traditional Patachitra. This is Sora painting, G Jet Airways. Jet Airways had these paintings on the flights itself. And so आप देख सकते हैं कि how this art form can be utilized in different streams. So it's very important for students to notice this, that your folk art form, your songs, your stories can take you, help you in your own profession in many ways. You just have to be aware of it. This is I've been illustrating a lot of books. This is a book called Paltu Gherelu, published by Room to Read, and this whole illustration was done by me. This is my recent book called Mithila Painting Man Nature Culture Series on Madhushravani Festival, and this is my first book called Likhiya, published by IGNCA, Ministry of Culture. This is on the very famous book on Hinduism, Wendy Doniger. So, ये book cover was designed by me. This is gendering material culture. This painting was the cover was done by me, and I had written a paper also in this. So, thank you so much. Uh, Now you can ask me questions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is a very informative lecture. Thank you so much for telling us the tale of art, traditions, intangible values, inspirational women, all these aspects of caste that the Mithila art itself is. We also thank you for preserving and promoting this gem of an art form of Bihar and India. So we are on a time crunch, but I would request if there are any questions, please. You may either unmute yourself and ask, or you might write in the chat box.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Ria here. I'm also from Bihar. It was really nice to hear you speaking. Ma'am, I would like to ask you that do you think the Mithila painting is more inclined towards abstract form of art?
Not really. It's like how you take it, but it is not abstract. It looks abstract because it has a lot of in-depth meaning. The moment anything has meaning, then the more you start using it with meaning into a context. आप इसको किसी भी चीज में use कर सकते हैं. So I call it very very contemporary. That's why you feel it's abstract. It is it's not so abstract that it does not have meaning. It has meaning, lots of meaning in itself, from starting from each story. So it looks abstract because of the presentation, but it has lots of meaning when it comes to actual art form.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, there's another question from Ayush. He's asking that we all know that that Mithila painting is very integral for women and has played as a tool for empowerment for them. But do men also have a role to play in the development of this art form?
See, in the development of the art form, I would say initially men had no role, but definitely slowly, because it was very orthodox setup, in our area. So they allowed their wives to come out. I think that was a very big help for all these women, because but most many women had a lot of difficulties because their husband didn't allow them to come out, right? So in that case, men slowly, after some time, there were very world famous men who became artists like Gopal Saji, like Krishna Nanja, and now Chandra Bhushan, so many other people. But men definitely slowly they changed slowly. In fact, initially they were a hindrance, I think, because if you go in detail about each story of an artist, you will see that their husbands were not so supportive of them coming out. You can just imagine that somebody who has not gone out from the courtyard goes to USA. So आप सोच सकते हैं कि वो कितना डिफिकल्ट होगा. इनफैक्ट मोस्ट ऑफ दीज आर्टिस्ट लाइक गंगा देवी, गोदावरी दत्त जी, दे हैड अ वेरी सैड स्टार्टिंग. They were rejected by their husbands, and this led them to become world famous artists. So and अभी भी आप देखेंगे तो बवा देवी जी के जितने भी दामाद हैं, they all they've joined their mother-in-law's profession. So now the men have joined the profession, and there are many good men artists, but initially they were hindrance actually.
Right, ma'am. So, till the time we do not have any other question popping up, I wanted to ask, ma'am,
Yes.
other than Mithila art, so there are a lot of regional arts of India, Gond art, Bhil art, a lot of tribal arts, folk arts, ma'am, and then there are also arts that we don't know about because they come from a very minute location. They have not yet been discovered in that sense. So, ma'am, as artists, as renowned artists, what should Like, what probably can we do to ensure that these art forms are not lost?
That's a good question. Actually, our government is doing a lot of work. There's a whole department under Ministry of Textiles, which is handicrafts office. That they have a section for languishing art also. Then all the art forms are basically. I think if the government was not there, these art forms would have been lost long time back. So it is being promoted by the government, and even national awards are specifically there's a category for languishing art and all the dying arts, and all these art forms are recognized nationally by the government of India. So that government of India, in even remotest place, they are doing a lot of work to promote these art forms and get them to national exhibitions and international. You can see Mithila painting also developed only because of government support. If government support was not there, we wouldn't have seen Mithila painting out of the room, right? So government is doing a lot of work, and then small organizations and like artists from like me, all the other places, they themselves are promoting themselves and other people. So that's how it is coming. And now it is very important that all the younger generation, like all of you, you are aware of your art form, because you can take it to a different level because you are educated, right? So that is very important, right?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, this was a very insightful session, and I also thank the audience for being here with us. I'm sure it was so intriguing that nobody could leave. Before we come to the end, I would request Neeru ma'am or Sudha ma'am to make a concluding remark.
All right. Thank you so much for this absolutely mesmerizing session that we had. Gave us so much of insight. And I think the historical perspective that you gave about this art form has completely changed at least my outlook towards it. I'm going to look at it from a very different point of view now. And
Thank
was
you.
always, I always wondered, about the symbolism that was attached to it. And now a lot of things have started making sense. So the history department is very grateful that you
Thank
were
you.
able to spare time for us.
No, no, it's my pleasure.
And we hope that we have a meaningful association with you in future also, and we can do many collaborative things together.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting. I never miss a chance to interact with young students because I feel that they are the carrier of all this in future. So I thank your department, and I thank your college for this invitation and this chance to interact with the students. And thank you to all the students for being so patient and listening to something new. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Tejaswi.
much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Take care.
I will just request the participants to fill the feedback form once so that we could generate certificate for this lecture.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
to everyone who joined us today.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you.